Hey. It's a family event.
Sorry. Sorry.
In a church. Yikes.
Swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true.
Well, it was one of the most beloved science fiction shows of all time, but it was canceled after only 14 episodes in one movie.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
So Joel pauses for a good 4 Mississippis before answering. Ellie has to know this is a lie. If only Joel were better at lying than killing a hospital's worth of people who were trying to cure a plague which had ravaged the entire planet, this season would probably not even be necessary.
The show makes the point that Ellie suspects Joel of lying, so pointing out the obvious lie doesn't do anything for anyone. You're agreeing with the show and then calling that a mistake of the show.
Giraffes rely on very specific vegetation to survive, and they're indigenous to African savannas, where the temperatures seldom drop below 70 degrees. There is no way these giraffes have thrived for decades in Salt Lake City.
Giraffes primarily eat from acacia trees, mimosa trees, and wild apricot trees, although they also eat flowers and herbs. Various species of acacia grow in Utah, including in Salt Lake City. Mimosa trees perform very well in Utah. Apricot trees have a harder time growing due to the intense summer heat in Utah. In sum, 2 of the 3 major food sources for giraffes are known to grow in Utah, including Salt Lake City specifically. Your argument from personal incredulity fallacy is not going to erase the facts.
Why would he do this?
I heard rumors about some candy he took that was supposedly...
That wasn't true.
What is true, though, is that cordyceps might have wiped out most of civilization, but thankfully the pronoun gaming is still going strong.
The pronoun game, Sin, only works when the people don't know who the pronoun is referring to, but everyone here knows that Manny was referring to Joel.
50s, graying, beard, 6 foot tall, scar on his right temple. Oh yeah, they said he's handsome.
Reducing Pedro Pascal to handsome. He is sexy and you know it.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture. Also, Discount Jeremy has a boner.
When we kill him slowly.
Joel killed Abby's dad, sure, but he didn't torture him. It was one gunshot. Abby is a dick to the concept of tit for tat.
Discount Jeremy doesn't understand emotion.
Main characters in a violent struggle to make the audience think they're fighting for their life when in reality it's just a sparring match. Cliché.
That's not a cliche.
Also, in a post-apocalyptic world where medical supplies are probably pretty scarce, is there not a way to train that's not so potentially lethal?
Not only is this irrelevant given the fact that nobody dies from this, but it's also dumb considering the risk versus reward calculus. I mean, safer training might be possible, but it would also be less effective given that it wouldn't be as hands-on, so you'd be securing safety during training by sacrificing effectiveness in real combat scenarios.
I pulled it.
You pulled it?
Yeah, he pulled it.
Why?
Why did he pull a punch to Bella's face? Is that her actual question? The immediate answer should be because your face would be concave if he hadn't. Oh, and once again, why are they wasting needed medical supplies on bullshit like this?
Ellie wants them to go all out because it'll make her stronger, and that should be very obvious to you if you watch the episode. As for the medical supplies part, Discount Jeremy double dips cliche.
In case you confused it with Jackson, New Hampshire.
This place name gag can be funny when the place they say as an alternative doesn't exist. But when it does exist, the gag falls flat. Jackson, New Hampshire is a real place, so it actually wouldn't be crazy for an episode to take place there. The next 2 sins in a row are really stupid. Discount Jeremy mentions that various materials probably aren't very easy to come by in a post-apocalyptic landscape, but nobody in the episode said otherwise, so these sins are completely pointless.
Can I ask a question?
Shoot.
Why is she angry at you?
This episode is at least 47% characters playing the pronoun game.
Yet again, Joel knows exactly who she's talking about. And guess what? When I said she just now, you also knew exactly who I was talking about. You know why? Context.
This scope is sick.
It ain't the scope, it's the shooter.
But to be fair, it's also pretty much equally the scope.
Discount Jeremy doesn't know shit about guns.
Shaken stems. What am I, in high school?
It's winter, Gail.
There might still be a stigma about therapy in this post-apocalyptic world, but at least the price of mental health care has dropped significantly. Also, they've got voltage testers and springs, but no better weed than shaken stems? Look, I'm just getting really hung up on that voltage tester thing because I'm pretty sure I couldn't even find one today.
Did you miss the part about it being winter in Wyoming? Are you aware that marijuana is a plant and voltage testers aren't? Marijuana is very resilient and can grow in most climates, but cold temperatures cause the rate of growth to decrease significantly, meaning that the lack of good weed in this scene makes total sense. Voltage testers, on the other hand, aren't a goddamn plant, genius.
Dina asked me today what's wrong with her.
That's not accurate. What Dina asked was,
Why is she angry at you?
I'm gonna stop you right there because you're expecting a very flawed human being to perfectly recite what another character said. Bias plays a very important role in memory, and this dialogue captures that very well.
She talks to me, says hello, gives me a smile, looks up to me, makes me feel like I'm a good guy, which I am.
people who feel the need to reassure those around them that they are in fact good guys.
People who feel the need to point things out on the screen.
You shot and killed my husband. You killed Eugene.
And you still agreed to be Joel's therapist? How is that in any way on him?
Gail was already Joel's therapist when he killed Eugene, and the episode makes it clear that there aren't exactly a whole lot of choices for therapists in Jackson.
Also, regardless of what came first or whether or not the show is technically better, which it is, this series still parallels The Walking Dead so closely, it's sometimes hard to remember which show I'm watching.
Your stupidity is not the fault of this show. Deal with it.
Say the thing you're afraid to say. I can help you. Say it out loud, no matter what it is, no matter how bad. I promise I will help.
Expecting someone to trust them with their deepest, darkest secret after telling them you hate their guts and will never forgive them for murdering their husband.
Pointing things out on the screen after saying nothing of value for the past 6 minutes.
Pine tree, gate, mailbox, rocking chair. Excitement?
Discount Jeremy doesn't know what establishing shots are, and he also thinks that excitement is the only emotion that shows are ever allowed to evoke. That's quite a twofer. The next 2 sins in a row are both pop culture references.
That's available.
Why would I ask Kat?
Because she's the other one.
Othering someone based on their sexuality.
Pointing things out on the screen.
We should go back and report it.
I'm all for being a stickler for the rules, but to go all the way back to report a random blood trail in the snow? No wonder no one listens to Kat.
If a blood trail isn't worthy of a report, then I don't know what is. When Trump inevitably causes a nuclear holocaust and we're all trying to survive in post-apocalyptic America, someone remind me not to let Discount Jeremy go on patrol.
Waiting until you're inside the dark place with monsters to turn on your flashlight instead of having it ready to go before then.
Buddy, does this room look dark to you? Sure, the other rooms are dark, but she turned on her light in this room.
DJ clearly went to the Ross Geller School for Protective Lunch Notes.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop.
Listen, my attention span has been addled beyond recognition by the constant barrage of social media distractions as much as the next guy, but I'd like to think I'd be able to stay on task while hunting dangerous mushroom zombies.
Wait a minute. Earlier in the episode, you chastised Jesse for asking Ellie and Dina to take things more seriously, using the justification that they'll never take anything seriously enough.
Jokes aside, can you take things a little more seriously?
I've been hanging out with these two for less than 30 minutes, and I already know the answer to this question. Jesse's been around them for the past 5 years. Why is this question?
But now you're complaining about them not taking their patrol seriously enough, which contradicts your earlier sin. You can't have your stalker and kill it too.
Ellie survives this. I'm pretty sure her bite immunity doesn't carry all the way to protecting her from dangerous falls. At the very least, she should have f***ed up an ankle or a spleen.
I mean, she didn't fall that far, and she didn't land on anything sharp. How fragile do you think the human body is? If she was 80 years old, I'd agree with you, but she's 19.
Okay, so the doors are padlocked, but that wall is obviously about 80% boarded up window. If the floor was so rotten that Ellie could just fall through it, how hard could it be to just rip off that plywood and smash one's way out of the room?
That's a genuine oversight on the part of the set designers. I'm very tempted to give a sin for Discount Jeremy taking almost 9 minutes of video to give one good sin, but I'm feeling more generous than evil today.
You okay?
Yeah.
Look, I know Ellie and Dina were breaking the rules to come in here and clear the building on their own, but all those gunshots and Kat and the others just sat outside and did nothing to help. I think it's time to seriously rethink how the town council chooses the leaders for these patrols.
You're asking for these people, who are clearly sticklers for the rules, to break protocol in order to help people who broke protocol. That's just dumb.
So Ellie's response isn't immediately followed up with Dina exclaiming, "Oh, hooray! We did it!"
Discount Jeremy makes a
How exactly is you two running into an uncleared building qualify as following the rules and obeying your captain?
Once again, why is everyone being so easy on Kat's responsibility in this situation? She didn't exactly pull them back.
Discount Jeremy double dips cliche.
Oh, I hate these things.
Jesse is that guy at parties who always has to tell you why he hates parties, and now I fucking hate Jesse because of this. Doing a real bang-up job getting us to embrace these new characters Last of Us Season 2.
But why does that make you hate him? I'm waiting for an explanation. Also, why do you think the show needs to make us like all the characters? Having flawed characters is a great thing.
Hey, don't forget, you got early patrol, so get some rest.
Scheduling early patrol for someone getting wasted at a New Year's Eve party.
You just implied that Jesse scheduled her for early patrol during the party. Do you not realize that he scheduled her for that patrol before the party?
Maybe they're jealous of you. No reason to be. I'm not a threat.
I get it's a trope to have the main character be oblivious to someone's advances, but this is taking it a bit too far.
Okay, but Ellie doesn't know that Dina is bisexual. Remember that scene earlier in the episode where Dina called Ellie the other one, meaning the other lesbian? That made Ellie think that Dina was straight.
It's a family event.
Sorry. Sorry.
In a church.
Living in an apocalypse and being more worried about which buildings get to be occupied by which gender construct gets to insert their tongue into which other gender construct.
Pointing things out on the screen and being more worried about extending your video's runtime than finding genuine mistakes in the episode.
I don't need your f***ing help.
Assuming Joel wasn't helping Dina. Don't really need to add vanity to your list of shitty attributes for this episode, Ellie.
A whole bunch of bullshit.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. You are a transgender.
What shows that I'm gay?
You are a transgender, yes, and you're a gay rights activist and an outspoken lesbian, homosexual.